circumstances precisely. We now have a report perhaps of another building here in New York that has collapsed. CNN producer Rose Arce is on the phone. Rose, what can you tell us?
Yes, there's another building very close to the World Trade Center that was hit by debris some time ago, and it appears to be on the verge of collapse. Also, that enormous plume of smoke that you see that surrounds.
We took a walk toward Ground Zero. There's hundreds of fire trucks coming this way. The sky was filled with fine pieces of glass and acrid smoke. Cars were covered with dust. The street had a thick coat of debris. There was like 4 inches of dust back there right by that building, and down on the ground there was people's resumes lying, office supplies. There was, pictures from people's desks that had been just singed, and they'd blown up. The building had blown up, and the stuff had just come down like confetti. There were doctors rushing to help people. Emergency workers were moving cautiously toward the building.
Keep your eye on that building. It'll be coming down.
This firefighter was trying to rescue people from 2 World Trade Centers. What did it feel like?
Very hot, pitch dark. Couldn't see almost anything. Almost crawling on your feet. A lot of debris everywhere going. A lot of rebar, a lot of broken glass, a lot of brick. Just not really too much smoke at the time, but a lot of debris.
And what about people?
There are people in there.
Yeah, here's one of the guys who can tell you I'm okay, all right? Here, hold on. You want to call your mother or something?
To be right now.
You gotta get back from here. I know that. You gotta get back. All right?
I know.
Don't worry about me. You need to make calls right now. All right.
Another firefighter watched debris crush everyone on his truck but him. Well, what was it like when it collapsed? Was it?
Nightmare, total blindness, choking feeling. You're covered in dust, rubble, smoke, everything. I dove under a truck.
Collapsed, Gloria Rivera, and she saw 2, then 3, then 4 people jump out of the top floors of the World Trade Center. She was with a firefighter who said they're not falling, they're jumping, watched their arms waving, and they counted 12 people jump off the top floors.
Do you want to continue, George?
Well, right now, as I said, they are evacuating everyone else out. But just to give you another sense, Peter, all over Lower Manhattan, the sidewalks, the streets are covered with about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of dust, of soot, as if it were Pompeii. Most people are pretty calm right now. They're evacuating slowly as the firefighters come in. But it really was one of the most frightening, horrific scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Thanks, George, very much. Come back any time with a report. The president needs to be on station to talk it, as does the mayor of New York, and Mayor Giuliani is with us at the moment. Mr. Mayor, can you hear me?
I can, Peter.
Mr. Mayor, I saw you several times on the street today, and it looked like you were deeply sharing the horror that all of us feel. But I'd really appreciate, aside from, on top of your sentiments about all this, give us some sense of what's going on.
What is going on now is a massive rescue effort. We have thousands of police officers and firefighters in all of Manhattan trying to rescue as many people as we possibly can. There are still a lot of people there that are injured, hurt, dazed, and we're trying to get them out, and we're mobilizing all of our fire, police, and emergency resources to do that. The governor has alerted the National Guard, and they're being deployed to come and relieve us early to later this afternoon. And the urban search and rescue teams are coming here from around the country to also assist us. But until then, which means until probably 2, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, our police department, our fire department, and our emergency people are being stretched to the limit. And I'm sure we've also lost a significant number of them.
You're reluctant, I assume, to put any other name attached to the casualties except significant. Do you believe it's hundreds or thousands?
I really don't. I really don't want to say right now, Peter. I think it's going to be a horrible number. I saw people jumping out of the World Trade Center. I saw some of the firefighters who I know going into the building. And we were in a building in which we were trapped for about 10, 15 minutes.
Are you talking about did you go immediately to the Office of Emergency Management?
No, I went down to the scene, and we set up headquarters at 75 Barclay Street, which was right there with the police commissioner, the fire commissioner, the head of emergency management. And we were operating out of there. when we were told that the World Trade Center was going to collapse. And it did collapse before we could actually get out of the building. So we were trapped in the building for 10, 15 minutes and finally found an exit and got out, walked north, and took a lot of people with us.
My question is, the Office of Emergency Management headquarters, into which you put enormous effort for coordination in a disaster like this, has it been damaged? Is it still operating? It's gone?
It's been damaged. I don't know how badly. And right now, that whole area of Manhattan, including the police department, which is another area we would operate from, City Hall is another area we would operate from, have been closed off. So we've moved to a secure location in Midtown Manhattan where we're operating city government.
Is it fair to say, do you think, that all of your drills for dealing with terrorism and disaster are going according to plan, or has this been of such of magnitude that we've just all been caught totally off balance?
Oh, there's no question we were all caught totally off balance. No one could possibly expect large airplanes to crash into the World Trade Center the way this happened. I think, having said that, as I watched what the police officers and the firefighters were doing, I think they're going to save the maximum number of lives you could possibly save in a situation like this. I mean, the emergency efforts that they've been going through over the last 2.5 hours are nothing short of inspiring.
And when the National Guard comes in to say, did you say to take over or offer some relief, what can the National Guard do that you cannot do at a city level?
Oh, at this point, what they can do is relieve men who are going to be exhausted physically and emotionally.
Now, just, if you would, because I know how busy you are, just give us some sense of what you thought at the time about all this.
I thought that I would never live to see anything like this. I didn't think anything like this was possible. When I first arrived there, I rushed down there from Midtown Manhattan, and I saw the first building that had been crashed open. And when you look at it, it takes you a minute to really comprehend that this is actually happening. And to see people jumping from the top of the World Trade Center. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a nightmare that's worse than this.
Federal agencies that were down there do believe that there was some sort of explosive device somewhere else besides the planes hitting.
Dozens upon dozens of firefighters getting to the World Trade Center area.
There is still a sense of crisis. Ground. And emergency officials allow the first camera crew from NBC News inside the... Okay, so Joyce is our first team. What's the job in there? Whatever it is, to save somebody, one person saved, your life saved. Team 13. Are you set? Team 4 over here.
Just to make you aware, we have 147 EMTs.
Where's Team 1?
By the way, Afghanistan's ruling Taliban movement on Tuesday said that Osama bin Laden, they are closely allied with him, was not responsible for the attacks on the United States. What happened in the United States, according to the Taliban, was not a job of ordinary people. It could have been the work of governments. Osama bin Laden cannot do this kind of work. Neither can we, a Taliban spokesman said from the southern city of Kandahar. The Taliban, of course, a very militant and very conservative Islamic organization and widely believed to be harboring Osama bin Laden, a very wealthy Saudi dissident.
1:27 p.m. A command post is set up at Stuyvesant High School, 5 blocks north of the Trade Center.
And they also hit the Pentagon.
I was there, yeah.
Are you going back?
My job.
Good luck.
Firefighters line up for the payphones to tell loved ones that they were among the lucky ones who made it out alive.
bomb in the building. Start clearing out.
They're saying there's a bomb maybe in the high school on either side of the building. So they're pulling back.
The blocks around Ground Zero are unrecognizable. Streets are covered in ash, and the Twin Towers reduced to rubble.
Stay within eye contact of me. Where I am.
With the arrival of fresh troops from Connecticut and New Jersey, the teams regroup and prepare to go back in.
Stay within eye contact of me. Where I am.
With the arrival of fresh troops from Connecticut and New Jersey, the teams regroup and prepare to go back in.
The personal stories, the survivor stories of exactly what happened inside the World Trade Center when that first plane went in, and of course the collapses since then. We're going to bring more of those to you now. Barry Jennings, you were on the 8th floor. You work for the City Housing Department. Explain to me the moment of impact.
Well, me and Mr. Hesh, the Corporation Counsel, were on the 23rd floor. I told him we got to get out of here. We started walking down the stairs. We made it to the 8th floor. Big explosion. Blew us back into the 8th floor. And I turned to Hesh. I said, this is it. We're dead. We're not going to make it out of here. I took a fire extinguisher and I bust the window out. That's when this gentleman here heard my cries for help. This gentleman right here, and he kept saying, stand by, somebody's coming to get you. They couldn't get to us for an hour because they couldn't find us.
You thought that was it?
I thought we're dead. I thought that was it. I started praying to Allah. I said, that's it. We're gone. It's over.
What was it like for you? You were inside there as well.
It was pandemonium. I mean, it was something like out of a Bruce Willis Die Hard movie. He was there and he was crying, and there was another gentleman crying and for help. We couldn't get to him. We tried to get through we went through the buildings. We were lost. Both staircases, the backside was completely blown away. There was no way to access us. We couldn't get to him. And finally, one of the fire department teams found him. But we didn't think they were going to make it.
Well, certainly you got out. Many others didn't. Of course, we don't have a number right now of fatalities or injuries, but I want to translate a story to you that another man told me. He was near the building. He was on the lobby level, near the shopping area, near the promenade. The elevator doors, he said to me, blew open. And when the doors opened, there was a man on fire inside that elevator. That is the kind of tragedy we are talking about here, and where the World Trade Center once stood here in New York City is no longer. At least not like we knew it. These men just embraced. This man is crying. It has been that traumatic.
I don't want to cry in the air, man, but I thought that was it. I thought I was dead. I'm thinking about my sons, my wife. It's too much.
And certainly, he echoes the statements of many others. We were speaking with a couple of officials earlier trying to get information. They said, stand back, we lost a bunch of guys today. It has certainly been a horrible... In fact, let me come around right here as this happens. They're now clearing the area.
Anybody up to Lincoln Center, you have to board the bus.
They're trying to evacuate the area because certainly they don't know what's going to happen next. And you can see in this live picture from the corner of Reed and Church, people are wearing face masks. The air is almost unbreathable. And you can